Hello everybody, today we will be landing on Deimos, which is one of the moons of Mars. So, two things I need to clarify before we start. One is, for the rocket, this rocket that I'm using, you can copy it. Here's a good pause image here to copy it. Click this side separator and make the separation force low. So either 4 or 8. I would go with either 4 or 8. Don't do 0 because that just don't do 0. Do 4 or 8. I personally like to do 8. And then for these two side separators, make sure their separation force is up to 80. You'll need them at max for this launch. So without further ado, let's start. So for this launch, it's just a normal rocket launch. Just this rocket I've used for a couple videos. However, this is the first time you're seeing the actual lander. And as you probably saw there before, this lander only works for planets with no atmosphere, such as like Phobos and Deimos. If the planet has an atmosphere, or at least a thick atmosphere, this will just burn up in the atmosphere. So you want to be careful of that. And that's the reason we had the side separators at full, so that they wouldn't hit the rocket on ejection. Also, go check out my other video on how to get into orbit around Deimos and Mars. Now we're just correcting our final burn of this stage as it reaches this height. So now we will separate and fast forward a little bit until we reach this. Now we will remove our fairings and ignite, and that will get us into orbit. And there we go. That is our orbit, and that's a pretty stable orbit actually. I'm kind of proud of that. But now we have this, and we will be burning to Mars now. So navigate to, we fast forward to our transfer window. Alright, so now we have reached our transfer window. We'll get a smaller one in Earth orbit. Fast forward to that, and correct your rocket so that it is facing the right way. And the transfer window will tell you what to do. Mine says we need to increase by 813.6 meters per second, so we will turn on our engines and wait. This is not an optimal trajectory, but it will do the trick because this rocket has enough fuel to go pretty much anywhere, so we should be good. Oh, we went over it. Okay, my bad. Hold on, let me fix that. To do that, you'll turn around and just burn backwards. And you might have that happen to you. It's happened to me quite a bit, so don't worry about that. It's just an easy fix. If you have RCS on your rocket, it'll probably be an even easier fix, but I am dumb and I don't have RCS on this rocket. And now we have our encounter perfectly set up, so I will fast forward. And now we can see how our encounter will go. So I corrected my orbit a little bit to be easier to intercept Deimos, and now we will just accelerate time until we reach the point that we want to be at. So we'll stop there, turn our rocket around. So now we'll be burning, and our orbit will slowly curl around until we are in orbit around Mars. And from there, you'll just navigate to Deimos, and if you click that before, it will just give you a really strange idea, but nothing you really have to worry about too much. So as this fixes itself, you will see this become like actually good, you know. There you go. And so your transfer window to Deimos will appear. you'll go around until you reach it. Sometimes that can be a little fiddly, but now just get in the correct way around the transfer window, speed up, make sure your throttle is low so that you can have some more precise input. And be careful here, because especially with this rocket that doesn't have RCS, you can't do easy corrections, sorry, but it shouldn't be that hard. And there you go, that is our orbit around Deimos. There, we'll get it a little closer just for easier access, and it'll stop us as well. So now we will fast forward. You can also go to your third stage at this point if you want. So I will go to stage 3. We can clear debris. Get yourself facing the right direction. You can also turn on your landing gear, and then get to the right spot, get your throttle up, and burn. So now this is our trajectory. You'll turn it down, and there you go. You can get that like that, and you might not want to do this. This can be a little bit kind of finicky almost. You're just so close, and it's not really a problem. And yeah, so now we're descending down. We can fast forward through part of this. It really feels like empty space almost when you're just above such a small object like this, but really it's simple, and landing on it is not that hard. So once you touch down, you're going to want to jettison your rover, and that's why you want to have your power on that ejection as low as possible so that you won't get launched high, but make sure it's not 0, because then you will just get stuck there. But we can fast forward through this. You don't have any control such as RCS on your velocity here. You don't have any control on that, but you should be fine, and you won't really take any damage from landing just because you're moving so slow. But yeah, so you can also clear debris to remove that rocket. If you want to keep it, I personally don't like to keep it just because it's kind of weird, but it can be kind of cool to see. But yeah, now you are on Deimos. You might find it a little bit hard to land on this kind of elongated side because it's farther from the center of gravity, so you might be kind of dragged more that way. But it can also be kind of fun to try to land on the tip right here, but I don't know. Anyway, moving on Deimos can be kind of strange just because it's so low gravity. You'll want to turn on your rover wheels, and make sure you do turn on the rover wheels. Otherwise, you might be wondering, why am I not moving? But yeah, it can be kind of strange moving on Deimos, but you'll get the hang of it. It's a lot about timing and timing your landings and spins and wheels, but it can be kind of fun once you get to figure it out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I had fun making this video. Hopefully it's helpful with landing on such a small object, and I'd like to tell you guys that personally Deimos is my favorite object in the Spaceflight Simulator to land on, or even just orbit, just because of how small and insignificant it is almost, but I find it a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.